Chapter-2. Crossing the Border. Morning was slowly rolling over the world, but the forest still held the shadows and silence of night. The claw woman and the little rabbit walked side by side, leaving the heart of the enchanted forest. The air grew heavier as they approached the edge of the known world, where the rustling of leaves died away and the song of birds turned to a restless murmur. "Here begins the silence," murmured the claw woman, almost to herself. The rabbit looked at her in bewilderment. His eyes, though large and gentle, understood only fear and longing. He did not know what border or the world beyond meant. But he knew that his mother was no longer here. And the claw woman seemed to know where to go to find her. In front of them was a long, sparse clearing, with yellow grass and low bushes. Beyond it, the laced line of fences could be seen, a dusty country road, and beyond it, all the first silhouettes of houses. "Here the border is not seen with the eyes, but with the soul," said the claw woman, a thin line, drawn by fear, forgetfulness, and arrogance. People forgot about the forest, and the forest learned to beware of people. The little bunny looked at her, but he did not understand any of the heavy words. He only felt that they were walking in a place where the world had changed. The leaf no longer whispered. The wind no longer carried the smell of roots, but of smoke. Not a single creature sang. Only silence, broken from time to time by awkward chirping or a distant bark. The claw woman stopped and dug her fingers into the ground. "This is the border that we cross, but we will not be the same anymore. Are you ready, little one?" "Yes," the bunny answered, in a strangled voice. "Will we find Mom? We will look for her, and if we find her, we will bring her back. If not, we will mourn her with dignity. But we will not let the world think that they can crush us without feeling the answer." Then, without saying anything else, the claw woman lifted her 4 fingers from the ground and stepped across the invisible border. And the world changed, and the world of people. The air was heavier. It did not smell of the forest, but of gasoline, hot iron, and old asphalt. The ground was hard, woven with gravel and cracks. Instead of leaves, their steps touched plastic threads, pieces of paper, and tire tracks. The claw woman walked carefully, her senses stretched like springs. This world did not belong to her, and she had no intention of forgetting it. And the distance. The first traces of settlement could be seen. A farm with rusty wire fences, a silo, a white house with a tin roof, and the field. 2 people walked slowly, gathering something from the ground. They did not see them. The rabbit clung to the claw woman's leg, watching everything in amazement. It was the first time she had stepped so far from the clearing. "Why would people want to catch rabbits?" she asked, her voice low. "For food," she said, "or for fur, or because they do not know how to look a rabbit in the eye and see suffering. But we don't harm anyone. The world of people is not built on justice, but on power. The power to decide what lives and what dies. And when they forget the forest, they forget the laws of balance." They walked slowly, avoiding roads and looks. The claw woman slipped past walls, under fences, behind cars. People didn't notice her, not because she wasn't visible, but because their minds refused to understand what they didn't know. Sometimes they saw her out of the corner of their eyes, frowned, and told themselves they were dreaming. Sometimes, children saw her and cried or laughed, but adults told them it was just a story. And so she could go on. They arrived in a village, a dusty place, with wide yards, high gates, and tied dogs. It smelled of hay, diesel, and fried meat, and hens were clucking hysterically. In a shed, a cat was looking at the bunny with yellow eyes. But it didn't attack him. She retreated into the darkness, feeling the strange presence of the claw woman. "Are you sure they brought her here?" asked the claw woman. "I don't know, but this is where the smell of iron came from, and this is where the song of the forest died out," the bunny said, trembling. The claw woman closed her eyes. She stretched her senses through the ground, through the air, through the vibration of the world. And then she felt it, a weak but familiar presence, a heart that beat slowly, somewhere in a shelter. The bunny's mother was there. Weak, wounded, but alive. "It's time to go down to their world," she whispered, and the night that was beginning to fall, the village seemed empty. But the shadows were full of eyes. The claw woman slipped through the fences, climbed onto a barrel, then lowered herself into a shed covered with tin. There, in a wooden crate, in a small cage, lay a brown rabbit, with a crudely bandaged paw and cloudy eyes. "Mom!" the baby cried, running towards her. "No. Back!" the claw woman whispered, but it was too late. The light suddenly came on. A man in overalls appeared in the doorway. In one hand he held a flashlight, in the other a crowbar. What the hell? The claw woman rose in all her terrifying splendor, a huge palm, with burning green eyes in the center. Her fingers rose like steel arms. You broke the covenant. You wounded the forest. Now the forest is watching you, she said. The man was stunned. He felt fear not as a thought, but as a weight on his chest. He could not move either the crowbar or the flashlight. He could only remember all the stories he had laughed at as a child. The ones about the six-fingered creature with a face in the palm of his hand that comes after those who catch what shouldn't be caught. And then, for the first time in his life, he asked for forgiveness without words. He put down his crowbar. He opened the cage. And the rabbit was free. The claw woman did not touch him. She did not curse him. She left him only with her gaze. And with the memory of being seen by another world, as night rose over the village, 3 figures crept back towards the forest. The claw woman, the rabbit, and his mother. Under their feet, the invisible border seemed weaker, thinner. Perhaps because, that day, someone in the human world had remembered, or perhaps because someone in the forest had chosen not to hurt, but to heal. And so, the beginning of the claw woman's adventure in the human world was sealed not with a fight, but with an act of mercy. But the silence would not last. The shadows felt it. And the humans would soon begin to speak.